now 3 straight wins for the Toronto Raptors as they go into Detroit. And more Raptor fans than Piston fans as usual. And the Raptors come out on top 112-99 over the Detroit Pistons. And I got to give this Raptor team a ton of credit. You know what? Early in this basketball game, you lose Marc Gasol. I think it was a left hamstring or right hamstring strain. He leaves the game, and that's not good. He didn't return. We're probably going to hear about over the next day or so the deal about him. And Norman Powell in the fourth quarter, it didn't look good. Takes a screen from Blake Griffin, goes down immediately and rolls around with his shoulder. And we know that in the past, Norman Powell has missed time because of a shoulder issue. And you know when he left the court, he was hunched over, grabbing at his shoulder, Alex McKechnie with him. It did not look very pretty. So the Raptors lose Gasol and they lose Norman Powell in this game. To the extent we don't know. What we do know is the Raptors did pull away from this game and win. And a huge part of that is Serge Ibaka. We'll get to him in a bit. But this team came together as a unit and found a way to win this game. First quarter, it's kind of back and forth game. Raptors end up winning the quarter by 1 off a big 3 by Pascal Siakam at the end of 1. 30-29 after the first quarter. Second quarter, man, the Raptors just offensively explode. Problem, though, without Marc Gasol, Raptors are kind of lost a bit defensively. They give up 35. However, you're still +6 at the break. You got a lot of room to improve, but you're up by 6, and a great job there. Third quarter, the defense for the Toronto Raptors just tightens right up, and it leads to their offense. Now I'm going to get into you guys are probably going to instantly think officials, and I will get to them in a bit because they were absolutely awful on both ends for both teams. They were just flat out terrible. But in that third quarter, Serge Ibaka just took over. I think he had what? How many did he end up with? He had 25, but 13, I think, of his 25 was in the third quarter alone. And the team only scored 26. So Serge came out guns a-blazing in that third quarter, did an incredible job, and this team ran away with it. They were plus 11 in that third quarter, 26-15. Only allowed 15 points. As we know from the Toronto Raptors, you get stops, you get out and run. That's what makes this team so dangerous, and that's what they did in that third quarter, really pulling away from this one, up by 17 after 3 quarters of play. Then in the fourth quarter, the offense just dries up for Toronto. And, even for Detroit, they weren't great offensively. They do end up winning the fourth quarter by 4, however, 20-16. But Raptors still come away with the 13-point victory, 112-99. A great victory by the Toronto Raptors there in Detroit. Basically shorthanded Marc Gasol for the entirety of this game. He only played 8 minutes. And then Norman Powell, like I said, left the fourth quarter with that shoulder injury. You found a way to hang on to it. You found a way to win. And that's what good teams do. That's what great teams do. They find ways to win. Now, was it pretty? No. Was it effective? Yeah, it was. And the Raptors' defense, they only gave up 35 points, guys, in the second half. Now, the Raptors didn't score a lot in the second half, but they only got 35 points in the second half. Incredible defensive duties after giving up almost 60 in the first half. So a great job by the Raptors tightening up on the defensive end. And with that third win in the row, they're now 19-8 on the year. So a great job by Toronto, winning 3 straight after that struggle. I think they lost like 4 or 5 or something. So a great job finding a way. They've been playing some teams they should beat, but they're doing a job, and that's what you want to see. Now, shooting-wise, like I said, wasn't very pretty. 43% shooting for the Raptors, 37% from 3. However, you defended the 3 immensely well. I think it was at least 2 chase down blocks from the Raptors. One by Siakam, and I forget, maybe OG. I'm not exactly sure. But they were 6 of 35 from 3. They were pressured all night by Toronto, and a great job perimeter defense by the Toronto Raptors tonight. 88% from the line as well, 21 for 24. Great job there, plus 6 in that category. Big number. Now, rebounding category. When you think of Blake Griffin and Andre Drummond, you think they're going to win the board category. And when you lose Marc Gasol, you think it's going to be a big issue. Raptors only lost the rebounding category by 148-47. However, they won the offensive glass 12-10. An incredible job there by Toronto. 27 assists as well. 9 steals to their 7. 6 blocks to their 6. 12 turnovers for the Raptors. Once again, for the third straight game, turnover numbers way down. And a really good job. Only 12 turnovers for the Raptors. 15 for the Pistons. Points in the paint, minus 20 though. Were the Raptors. But again, with Andre and Blake, they're just trying to get inside all the time. They do that every single game. Second chance points. Even the Raptors won the offensive boards category by 2. They lost the second chance points 16 to 15. And in the fast break, only 15 fast break points for the Raptors. Again, not really in the fast break, but they did a really good job transition off their defense. 15 to 10 in the fast break, and points off of turnovers 17-10 in favor of Toronto. Now, let's get to some specifics here, because I saw some great things, I saw some not so great things. Pascal Siakam, I thought he played all right. He shot the 3 immensely well, guys. 6 of 11 from 3. That is incredibly good, but I thought, again, from 2 and from inside, I thought he forced, there was quite a few shots that he forced. 10 of 23 from the field, 43% from the field, 54% from 3. So really good job from beyond the arc. 26, 5, and 3 for Pascal in 35 minutes. He also had 1 steal and 4 blocks. Did Siakam. Got in a little bit of foul trouble, had 5 fouls, but again, overall, I thought, even though he shot only a shade under 44%, I thought Pascal played a really good game on both ends of the ball. He was really good defensively. Obviously had 4 blocks, including the chase down. Maybe he even had 2 of he had both chase down blocks. I'm not too sure, but the fact that he was really active defensively, and he was making some shots, he was knocking down threes, and a great job by Siakam tonight. I thought he was a really good player tonight. He looked really good on both ends of the ball, and that's what you want to see every night from your best player, and that's what we saw tonight from Pascal. OG Anunoby, guys, this guy was red hot to start. You know, I think at the end of the first half, he had 17 points. He ends with 19. 19, 8, and 3 for OG. 7 of 12 shooting, 3 of 3 from the line, 2 of 5 from 3, and had a block in this game. Maybe he had the chase down. +9 when he was on the floor. By the way, Pascal was a +7, just giving you guys the heads up there. And OG, look, was fantastic. Remember that? The one play that I look at tonight, and I'm like, that was incredible by OG, is when the ball got tipped past half court and the shot clock was running down, he just kind of steps over center court, sets his feet, and, you know, it was a deep 3, and he knocks it down. A big shot from OG. I think the lead was by 1 at that point. He makes it 4. So a really good job by OG Anunoby today. Shot efficient, played good defense, and had almost 20 and 8. I mean, a great job by OG Anunoby in this one. Marc Gasol, obviously, we talked about it, left the game after 8 minutes. It missed the 1-3 he took, but he had 2 steals in the 8 minutes with 1 rebound, and he was a +4 in those 8 minutes. But we all wait and see to kind of see the diagnosis of Marc Gasol. Kyle Lowry, look, this guy had a tough night shooting the rock. 5 of 17, as we've seen kind of quite a bit lately. However, he was 7 of 8 from the free throw line. He was 3 of 6 from 3, so 50% from beyond the arc. He gave you 2 steals and a block, +15 on the floor, and a triple-double for Kyle Lowry. 20, 10, and 10 for Kyle. A really good job by him. Look, I understand, guys, 5 of 17 ain't pretty. It's not a very pretty number, and you don't really like to see that half the time. However, the fact that he got a triple-double, as well as he shot the free throw line well, and he shot the 3 well, that 5 of 17 can kind of go unnoticed just a little bit, and that's fine for me today. All right, great game by Kyle. Anytime you fire up a triple-double, it's a kind of the tip of the cap moment for any player getting one, even if you're Russell Westbrook trying to pad stats. But Kyle Lowry was clearly going for a victory today, and that's what it was. Great job by Kyle Lowry. Norman Powell, when he left the game, wasn't having a Norman Powell type of game. 9 points, 3 boards, 3 assists on 2 of 7 shooting, 4 of 4 from the line, but he was 1 of 4 from 3, +11 on the floor. He played incredible defense, did Powell, before he left the ball game. In that fourth quarter with that shoulder injury, I have a screen from Blake Griffin. It doesn't look pretty. I'm hoping it's something small. We're all hoping it's something small for him and Gasol, but we don't know. And next man up mentality might be the next thing. But if you don't have Fred and you don't have Norm, who's that next guy? Does Terrence Davis get a shot in the starting lineup? I don't know. I mean, who else would you give the opportunity? Pat McCaw? I don't know about that in the starting unit. I might want to get some TD2 up in that starting unit if Freddie can't go in the next one, and if Powell's injury is substantial enough to keep him out, then I think Terrence Davis deserves an opportunity. I really, really do believe so. Will he get the chance? We're going to have to wait and see. how it all plays out and all that kind of stuff for that. Like I said, Serge Ibaka was incredible in this game. He was active on the glass. He was active shooting the three. He shot the ball extremely well. He took 18 shots. Good news, 10 of 18 for Serge Ibaka, 4 of 5 from the line, 1 of 4 from 3, had a steal in the ball game, plus 17 on the floor, 25 points, 13 rebounds for Serge Ibaka. A big night for Mafuzi's chef. And he did that in only 31 minutes. So a great job by Ibaka tonight, filling in for the injured Marc Gasol, who left the game, and he comes in with nothing but energy. And I love what where are we here? There we go. What Serge Ibaka brought to this team tonight. It was fantastic. It was energy. It was electric. I love what we saw from Serge Ibaka there this evening. Now, obviously, like I said, Pat McCaw only 1 for 3 in 27 minutes, 2 points, 3 boards. Couple assists, missed both threes he took. He was a +1 on the floor. Rondae Hollis-Jefferson, I only played 13 minutes, but he gave energy. 5 points, 3 boards, an assist, 2 of 4 shooting, 1 of 2 from the line. Had 3 steals, did Rondae. And yeah, he was a -1 on the floor, but the guy's just energy. He's a ball of energy, and I love it. And my boy Terrence Davis only played 12 minutes, 4 points, no rebounds, 3 assists on 2 of 4 shooting. Missed the 1 3 he took. And a +5 on the floor, even though he should have got to the free throw line for trying to dunk over Andre Drummond. And clearly got slapped on the arm. But I guess that's part of the ball. Okay. Now, speaking of calls and non-calls, let's get to this officiating. Because, my God, that was awful. I mean, really. How can you watch a basketball game like that and say, man, these officials getting paid a stupid amount of money are doing a good job? Because they're not. How many times today do we see blatantly stupid calls? How many techs were in this game? Let me just see. A total of 4 technicals, 2 aside. One was Blake Griffin on a 3 that he took that he knocked down. It should have been a 4-point play. They didn't call it. It was clearly, got him right in the hands, no question about it. There was a 3 and that was it. Obviously, Kyle Lowry under the basket. Apparently, there's a foul there. I'm not sure what they're looking at. Lowry doesn't really make much of a movement, and he gets teed up, and we're like, oh, that what? And obviously the Terrence Davis abysmal call. He should have been at the line taking 2 shots. Instead, it's just a play coming down the other way, and it's a terrible call on that. Let's keep going because it was terrible all night long. And there were some phantom calls, and we're like, so hold on. You don't call that, but you call one of those. It was a really awfully terrible officiated basketball game on both sides. So I'm not being a strict Raptor fan here. It was an awful officiated game for the Raptors, and it was an awful game officiated for the Detroit Pistons as well. It was a flat-out terrible refereeing game, and I'm really hoping that does not happen more often than not, because it's sad to watch that kind of stuff, But again, the Raptors get the victory. In the end, it doesn't matter. We beat Dwayne Casey. Can't go wrong with that. And they won 3 straight, 19-8 on the year. They fall to 11-17 on the season to the Detroit Pistons. And the Raptors, like I said, they continue to dominate teams that are under 500. I know people are going to say, well, beat the good teams. Yeah, but you look at last year, guys, right? And with Kawhi Leonard sometimes, the Raptors lost to terrible teams. And we're all thinking to ourselves, what? Huh? How does that even happen? They're not letting that happen this year. They're going out every single night, and they're trying to push a team down and beat the snot out of them. And that's what you saw today. Kyle Lowry, I haven't seen Kyle Lowry that jacked up in quite some time. You saw him after he knocked down that big 3, I think it was in the second quarter, after all the garbage calls have been happening. You see the energy in that? That's a second quarter 3. It's because he's jacked up because the officiating was appalling. But again, it's a win. We'll enjoy it. And we'll move on from it, all right? The next game for the Toronto Raptors is at home on Friday night, 7:30 tip-off as they welcome in the Washington Wizards to Scotiabank Arena. The story of the Wizards, they can score, but man, can they not defend. So, that's the story going into that game, 8-17. 8-18 they lost tonight to the, they lost, wait, what? Oh, they didn't play tonight. What am I talking about? They are losers of 8 of their last 10 games. They're 2-8 in the last 10, 8-18 on the year. They are really playing bad. Other than Bradley Beal, who's averaging almost 28 points a game, shooting 44% because he's had to take every damn shot they have. you contain that guy, you shut him down, you're winning that ball game nonetheless. You just got to make some shots and you'll be fine. Look, again, a team that you have to beat, you're at home. I understand people are going to say, well, let's see it against a good team. Let's see it against a good team. Let's see it against a good team. You got to face these garbage teams as well. So you got to find a way to win. They did today. They did the last 3 games. And they're going to try and do so on Friday. Go for 4 in a row. Because after that, you welcome in Dallas. Now, I'm assuming Luka Doncic will not be back there on Sunday, December the 22nd. Let me just see if there's any news on Luka. I saw 2 weeks. Yeah, within 2 weeks. So he probably won't be back for that Sunday game against Toronto in Toronto. So that's a game you got to win too. Even though they beat Boston, am I right? I think it was Boston they beat. I could be wrong, but no, Milwaukee. Excuse me, in Milwaukee. So that was a crazy one there. But you can't look forward to that. You got to focus on one game at a time, and that one game is Friday night in Toronto as the Raps take on the Wizards. 7:30 tip-off there as we look for 4 straight victories and look for win number 20 on the season. You win that, you're 20-8, and I don't care what the record says, who you lost to, who you beat. 20-8 is a very good start to the Raptors year if you can find a way to do so, but you got to win on Friday against the Washington Wizards. All right, so you know what, guys, that is going to do it for this one. If you guys enjoyed the video and enjoyed the basketball game there this evening because it was crazy, full of emotion, smack the like button, do appreciate that. Hit the subscribe button if you guys have not already. Comment down below your thoughts on the game. Who's your MVP minus Serge Ibaka, as much as Kyle Lowry had a trouble. No, Serge Ibaka is my guy, because when that offense was stagnant there in the third quarter, Ibaka was dynamite. He was the guy, 25 and 13 on very efficient shooting and blocking shot. Or I think he had a steal, but doing great things, plus 17. Ibaka's my player of the game. Lowry, look, you can even give a co-MVP if you want with Lowry as well. Siakam was great too. Look, lots of great things happening tonight for the Toronto Raptors, except Marc Gasol and Norman Powell. We'll have to hear what happens about them in the coming days and see if anybody's ready to suit up on Friday. Is Fred ready to go? Who knows? That's the questions that we're going to have moving forward. All right, so guys, where are we here? Twitter is down below for myself. You guys follow, send me a DM, do all that great stuff. Also, the Patreon account is down below. Follow up, or sign up, I guess it is. And if you guys are interested in doing that, please go do so. The link is in the description for the Patreon account. And also, guys, I want to say that the Leafs are, the next Leaf game, I think it's tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. The Leafs are back in action tomorrow. No, nothing tomorrow. So Friday, as the Leafs are in New York taking on the Rangers, it's a 7 o'clock puck drop. Frederik Andersen and Henrik Lundqvist are the expected goaltenders in that game on Friday night at MSG, as the Buds look to continue on their nice roll that they've been on. They're looking to win their 3rd straight game. And as for the Raptors, as we talked about, their next contest is on Friday as well, as the Raptors are at home because the Leafs are on the road against the Washington Wizards. 7:30 tip-off. Raptors looking for their 4th straight victory. Hey, you got to do a job against these bad teams, all right? So thank you guys so much for listening and watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Talk to you guys then.